Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm coming on with a really quick message. This is going to be very fast. But first off, I want to say if you're waiting on a timeline report, all timeline reports will be sent out by the end of today. And also, I've already started working on the 2025 readings for the zodiac signs. Aries and Taurus has already been recorded. They should be up today and or tomorrow. Okay. Now, in this spiritual journey, we have been given like a false outlook on what you should be or how you should present yourself when you're on the spiritual journey. It's almost like you got to be holier than thou, and you can't operate from a lower space, and you always have to do things from love and light. And it's like you got to become a fake version of yourself. Just remember, the spiritual journey is basically just following your spirit. Okay? The spiritual journey is being your authentic self, period. That means no two people will be the same. No two people's journey is going to be exactly the same. So, general concepts and ideologies will match, but the way it shows up in your life, there's no way two people or groups of people, everyone is going to be given like the exact same rules that you have to follow. Remember, that will just be another belief system like religion or some type of, I don't know, some type of cult or something. All you're doing is moving from one system of rules to another, if you're doing it that way, right? The new age movement type of stuff. No, the spiritual journey is you following your spirit. And that means there will be sometimes you have to tap into your lower self, the lower ego, and be your human self. That's literally the human experience. And right now, with what we're going through, letting go of a lot of emotions that has been sitting at the root, as we are letting go of the lower energies that sit at the root, you have to tap into your lower self. You have to become human. You have to allow yourself to just be who you are, and you have to go into certain experiences that's going to require you to act out the lower version of you. Okay, this morning I was talking to a former client, and she had a question, and she was like, I had an episode, and basically, we can sometimes be so hard on ourselves because we tap into a version of us that we thought we healed. Let me tell you something. That's where your superpower comes from. Being able to be all that you are and find balance in it. Finding balance, recalibrating, right? The harmony, being able to go back to that place where, okay, that happened, but I'm okay right now. So this just means you have to learn to ground yourself. You have to bring yourself back. I can go there, but it's not going to throw me off. I can go there and then I can continue on my day. I can tap into that version of me that, one moment I can cuss you out, and the next moment I'm all right. I move on. Knowing how to be what you need to be in the moment and then move on from it. It doesn't throw you off. It doesn't control your mind or your mindset. It doesn't define you. It doesn't make you feel guilt that you carry. You're not in regret, right? You're not in sadness. It happened because it needed to in that moment, and then I move on from it. This is how you tap into your superpower. This is where the superpower comes from. This is the human experience. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm holier than thou and I'm now on my path and I can't act that way and I have to be this way all the time, you're lying to yourself and you're presenting a false self. You have to give yourself permission to make mistakes. You have to give yourself permission to be wrong. You have to give yourself permission to have made the wrong choice. Or, and I'm saying the wrong choice in quotations. We sometimes are led to take certain paths so that we can strengthen our power, right? What doesn't kill you make you stronger. And as you are on the spiritual path, you will experience certain things that require you to tap into versions of yourself that you can say you've disowned or you don't want to ever own it, right? You don't want to be that person. Actually, this was today's daily message, the disowned self. There are parts of us that when we venture there, we try to not access. We don't want to access certain parts of us. Some of us we will leave certain parts of us dormant. And then we wonder why am I not evolving? Why am I not moving on from this pattern? Why do I keep going through this? Because every time you are led to tap into a certain part of you, you run from it. You deny it because of shame, because of the lower, energies that we have been taught as humans are bad. When all energies are there to be accessed, felt, experienced, that's where the growth happens. So don't be hard on yourself. Don't try to live up to a certain image of what being spiritual looks like. And that's why many people are giving messages. Many people are led to speak about their experiences. Many people are out there trying to help share different messages. And that's what makes this journey so great. Because as you listen to other people and you hear other people's story, it helps you awaken to who you are. And it allows you to just experience life without being so hard on yourself and judging yourself and even judging others. But, this is the self journey. So we can be harder on ourselves than we are on other people. And the journey sometimes, it feels like you're going backwards. Let me just tell you, whenever it feels like you're going backwards, just know you're about to tap into something even stronger than you've ever thought of. When you look at the spiritual journey, it's like you go up, you ascend, but the descension is when you descend that the power gets stronger. It's when you descend that the power gets stronger. Just think about a person who's in training, right? If you're in training and you're being taught how to do the job, and for example, let's just say you're in something where you have to go through basic training and it's all physical and it's all athletic, and you're being taught how to run hurdles and jump over this and, cover yourself in combat, and you're learning all the ins and outs on what to do if this happens and that happens, right? Once you pass the test of basic training and you did very well, and you pass with flying colors and you're the best at it and all of that and you're proud of yourself, do you think that that's the last time you're going to have to do that? Why do you think you went through the basic training? You went through the basic training because one day you will have to use that skill. So this is the same thing with the spiritual journey. If you go through a tough lesson and it's hard, trying to run from those type of lessons, does that make any sense? Like when you encounter another lesson like that, it's you knowing that you passed the test the last time. That's why that lesson came to you, because you know, I already did all these hurdles and I already did this and that and I passed with flying colors. So when this experience comes to me, I don't have to be guarded against it and say, no, I'm not going to experience this. I'm not going to allow myself to be vulnerable and experience this. You're not going to run from the actual experience that you were trained for. It will come to you again. And we look at this when we're on the spiritual path like, oh no, this is another lesson. I'm not doing it. No, this was what you trained for. Doing it is what shows you that you actually have gained growth in this, actually experiencing this. And this is why you will hear, let your guards down. This is why you will hear this, because what happens is at the first sign of, oh no, that's a red flag, I'm running. You're not allowing yourself to become stronger. And yes, sometimes you're going to go in and you're going to experience something, and then it puts you back in that energy that you know you've already overcome. But hello, this time you're going to see it's easier to overcome it. Last time it was hard. This time, oh wow, yes, because you've already flexed that muscle and you're only making it stronger. And this is how people gain trust in themselves. I trust myself in this situation because I've been there, done that. And I know that if I go in there, I don't get the outcome that I actually want, I can detach easily because I trust myself enough. I don't fear it, right? That's where I'm going here. You don't fear anything. You're letting go of fear. You're increasing your ability to trust. You are having more trust in yourself. All of this helps you become a better version of yourself, because now you know that if you encounter this experience, you know how to rebalance real quick. And if you encounter that experience, you can rebalance real quick. And if you encounter this, you balance again, right? This is about grounding yourself. But you have to get to the root of the problem. And the root, right? The base chakra, the root chakra, that's where your fears are. And if you keep guarding yourself and you're like, I'm not doing that, that means you never face your fears. And to go into the root chakra, that means you have to go into your lower self, the ego self. And if you're on the spiritual journey, you're going to be asked to go there. And when you are guarded, this is saying, I don't trust myself. And that's okay, because that's where some people are. But just know what's happening. What you don't want to do is judge yourself every time you're going through something and you don't get the outcome that you want. It's not about the outcome that you're wanting. It's not about the outcome. It's about how you can bounce back from whatever happens, no matter what the outcome is. I know I'm good. That's what it's about. I know I'm good. No matter what happens in this situation, I trust in myself enough to know that I can ground myself again and move on and not hold on to something or not hold on to it and let it hold me back and create a false version of myself where I'm bitter and jaded and scorned and, all of that stuff, right? You're not picking up another lesson. Those who have expectations and they're trying to force an outcome and they are dependent on another person to make them feel a certain way, this is how you pick up other lessons. But those who trust in themselves and like, you know what, I'm going to do this, whatever the outcome is, I trust myself enough to rebalance and move on. It's just another superpower that I've gained. And this is how spirit will use you. Okay, so don't be hard on yourself every time you go through an episode where oh my gosh, I lost myself in that experience. Yes, you are meant to. That's what the human experience is about. You're meant to become the experience, but you also need to know how to step back and view the experience and detach yourself from the experience and say, okay, this is what I was feeling when I was there. I understand why I was feeling it. And then you can just observe the experience, and you know that you are the observer of what's happening. You are not what's happening, right? Natasha experienced that. Natasha is the personality, the character, and she was in a role, but I am not Natasha. I simply am. And I can view what Natasha went through, and I actually can feel what Natasha went through, and I understand why Natasha went through that. That is evolution. But if I continue to move like, oh my God, I can't believe I went through that. I will never let myself go through that. And I learned my lesson. You're not understanding that you're just the observer of your avatar, which is your given name. And in my case, it's Natasha. Okay. And I don't want to complicate this anymore, but I think I made my point. Yeah, this was supposed to be short. So anyway, I'm going to go back to recording these 2025 messages, which I'm just going to tell you this year, this is going to be a year, y'all. This is quite a year. There's so many unexpecteds that's coming up, and nothing is set in stone this year. So be ready for changes. This is a year you really are going to have to remain in the present moment. Things are changing rapidly. Things change like from one week to the next week to the next week because so much people are changing their consciousness. And everybody's consciousness creates a different ripple effect. Okay? And that's why nothing is set in stone. We can have one trajectory this week, and then next week it changes again. Okay, so just be ready for the unexpected. And yeah, this is going to be a year. This is going to be a year. But anyway, the link to today's daily is down below if you're interested. And also, I do have where you can watch the dailies here on YouTube just by becoming a member. Okay, so I did activate that feature. All right. Okay, so enjoy your day, and I'll talk to y'all soon.